Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking a really fascinating paradox, which is how our modern quest for convenience might actually be working against our own biology. We live in an era where absolutely everything is designed to make our lives easier, smoother, and just more comfortable. But what if the very things we invented to save us time and energy are silently breaking down our biological resilience? It's a super compelling idea, and today we're going to unpack the science and the common sense behind the whole shebang. There is this incredibly provocative idea from the source material that really hits the nail on the head. It highlights this massive paradox. Our aggressive pursuit of comfort and instant pleasure is directly leading to disease and internal disorder. Think about that for a second. We actually age faster with the aggressive pursuit of comfort. In our modern world, we treat comfort as the ultimate goal, right? We want the fastest food, the softest chairs, the easiest solutions, the quickest hits of dopamine. But biologically speaking, our bodies were just not designed to sit in a state of perpetual, unchallenged comfort. When we constantly chase these quick fixes, we're actually accelerating our own aging process and leaving the door wide open for disease.
It actually comes down to a literal tug-of-war happening inside your body right now. On one side, you have quick fixes and comfort. On the other, constructive stressors and health. Constantly chasing those quick fixes makes us age faster, while embracing constructive stressors actually makes us fitter and stronger. And by constructive stressors, I mean those natural challenges, like physical movement, exposure to the elements, or even just working through a really complex problem. Those things signal to your body that it needs to adapt, grow, and repair. When we continuously avoid those stressors just to stay in our cozy comfort zones, we signal to our bodies that they don't need to be strong anymore. We lose our fitness, and our baseline health just plummets.
Section 1. Ignoring laws of nature. The illusion of human exemption. We honestly act as if we are totally above the natural world, operating with this extreme level of hubris. Somehow, right along the line of all our massive technological advancements, we reached a point where we convinced ourselves that we're exempt from the rules. We look at animals and plants and understand perfectly that they need specific conditions to thrive, certain foods, certain environments, natural rhythms of rest and activity. Yet when it comes to ourselves, we think we can just hack the system. We think we can ignore the fundamental biological laws of nature and suffer zero consequences.
Because of that mindset, we are aggressively exploiting our biological gifts. We treat our bodies like machines that can just run on empty, rather than biological organisms that require deep, complex nourishment. We deprive our bodies of essential micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals required for basic cellular function. We deprive our brains of macronutrients. And perhaps worst of all, we continuously fail to get the proper rest required to actually recover from the daily grind. We are essentially running our biological engines into the red line, day after day, without ever changing the oil.
Moving on to Section 2. The houseplant analogy. A lesson in common sense.
Okay, picture this. Imagine a houseplant sitting on your windowsill. The leaves are turning brown, they're crispy to the touch, drooping over, and the plant has completely stalled out in its growth. You definitely don't need a biology degree to realize that plant is seriously struggling to survive. Now, in this situation, anyone with a bit of common sense wouldn't rush out to hire a botanical expert. No, you would simply go down the basic checklist nature provided us. You check the quality of the soil to see if it actually has nutrients. You check the water. Is it bone dry or is it drowning? You check the sunlight, and you evaluate the general environment it's growing in. This is pure intuitive common sense. We instinctively know that the outward appearance of the plant is a direct reflection of its foundational inputs.
And you certainly wouldn't run down to the hardware store for a can of green spray paint to fix it. That's completely comical. You know that painting the leaf does absolutely nothing to save the plant. In fact, it probably suffocates the leaf and kills the whole thing faster. You know that the dry leaf is a symptom. It's an alarm bell, telling you that the root system is in major distress.
Which brings us to Section 3. Symptoms versus root causes. Fixing the soil, not the leaves.
It is actually mind-blowing how perfectly this plant analogy aligns with our modern reliance on symptom-masking medicines. Just think about the parallels here. For a plant, a dry, withering leaf is the exact same thing as a human experiencing physical pain, fatigue, or discomfort. It's a warning signal. When the plant has poor soil quality, it mirrors a human suffering from micro and macronutrient deficiencies. But here's the real kicker. When we reach for a quick fix medication that only turns off the pain signal without addressing the deficiency, we are doing the exact biological equivalent of painting a dying leaf green. We are forcing the system to feel better immediately while completely ignoring the rot at the roots.
So when we rely on that quick fix, it masks the pain, but totally ignores the deep vitamin or mineral imbalance at the root cause.
Now, actually, let me be clear. This isn't to say medicine isn't important. Of course it is. But when we rely entirely on symptom management, we fail to understand that a cascade of illness is often triggered by simple, foundational imbalances deep inside the body. A headache, chronic fatigue, or joint discomfort might literally just be your body crying out for basic nutritional support, much like the plant crying out for water and sunlight.
Okay, Section 4. Building true resilience. Returning to natural laws.
So what does this all mean for us? How do we stop painting the leaves and actually fix the roots? Well, to find the root cause of our disorders, we have to realign with biology. Step 1, stop avoiding constructive stressors. Go for that walk, embrace a bit of physical challenge, let your body adapt and grow stronger. Step 2, stop starving your system. Feed your brain and body the proper micro and macronutrients they desperately need to repair cells and maintain energy. Give your internal soil the right fertilizer. And step 3, prioritize rest. Real, deep, restorative rest. You simply cannot endlessly exploit your biological gifts without allowing time for the battery to recharge.
I want to leave you with this final thought to really chew on today. When you feel discomfort, are you doing the hard work of fixing your soil, or are you just reaching for the easiest way to paint your leaves green? Remember, real resilience always comes from the roots up. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.